Story 1. Gain the courage to be disliked. Decide what you stand for. Making that decision will alienate some people, and you must be okay with that. Do not just agree with others for the potential prospect of intimacy. Have integrity. Live your life. Engage in activities for your own sake, and create your own stories. These will attract quality people, whether they are friends or romantic partners, into your life. Story 2. Stop making a future sexual partner specific. Either be nice to everyone who deserves it or do not be nice to anyone at all. Story 3. It depends on what you mean. If you're talking about the kind of nice guy that people dislike, it's because they aren't genuinely nice. It's great to be nice, and it's even okay to be extra nice to someone you are interested in, but you shouldn't be nice to someone solely as a condition for a romantic relationship. So-called nice guys are the ones who will call a girl beautiful, and then when she turns him down, they will say she is unkind. Don't be that person. Be nice to everyone because it's a good thing to do. If you're talking about the kind of nice guy who struggles to get dates, it's often because they are shy and passive. Being nice is the only good thing about them. Be confident. If you like someone, ask them out, and if they say no, move on. Easier said than done. I know, but it's better than obsessing over someone from a distance. In summary, don't be a nice guy. Be a genuinely nice person. Story 4. Former nice guy here. The first thing to know is that advertising yourself as nice is like selling a car and putting in the advertisement in big bold letters, has all four wheels. Being nice isn't a feature. It's the bare minimum. Second, it doesn't matter if you're short or the world's most handsome person. No one has to like you. Not a single person. You can give someone $1 million, and they might still think you're unpleasant. No one owes you respect, and no one owes you romance. Third, take the hint. If someone says no, move on. It sure sucks to be rejected, but it sucks worse to be fixated on someone who doesn't have feelings for you. Fourth, romance isn't a game. There isn't a red romance bar that turns green as you do nice things for someone. If someone likes you, they'll tell you they do, or they'll say yes when you ask them out. Fifth, the only word that explicitly means yes is yes. If you ask someone out and they hesitate or have an excuse for every situation, that's probably a no. Whether you like it or not, a lot of people dislike confrontation and don't want to lose someone they thought was a friend. Lastly, and related to the above, rejection sucks, but it is absolutely not the end of the world. Sulk for a day or two, then get back out there and try again. Or take a break from it. You don't have to have a significant other, and there are advantages to single life. Anecdotally, I found that when I'm not actively trying to date someone, I do the best romantically. Some people can sense desperation, and it is a significant turnoff. Why are the other commentators being rude? This person is asking how to improve their life and attitudes, and you're telling them they can't? Stop with that negativity. Story 5, to quote Sondheim, nice is different from good. The difference is that nice individuals are pleasant because they want something. Good individuals are nice because that is the right way to treat people, regardless of whether they have something you desire. Be a good person. Be kind and considerate with no expectation of anything in return. Be authentic and open about who you are. If a woman isn't interested in you, that is a positive thing because it means she wasn't a suitable match for you anyway. When a woman is attracted to you, it means she likes you for who you are, not just because you were nice. Story 6. Stop viewing women as transactions. Being nice while expecting something in return undermines genuine kindness. If you are a kind person, extend that kindness to everyone. Treat those you are interested in as human beings like you would treat a friend. Most importantly, respect their boundaries. If they reject you, move on. Story 7. Accept that nobody owes you anything for being kind. If you are only being kind for a reward, then you are not genuinely a nice person. Story 8. Stop fixating on one romantic interest. Many nice individuals I have met and talked to have one person they are trying to impress. They focus all of their efforts on being what they think this person likes. Often, they elevate this person to an idealized figure only to be disappointed when that does not match the reality of who the person is. Instead, focus on yourself. What are your best qualities? How do you showcase them or improve them? What are your worst qualities? How do you work on addressing them? It is much easier to catch fish with an appealing lure than to target a specific one, especially when that specific one is not as remarkable as you imagine them to be in your mind. Story 9. When I was a teenager, I had the nice guy mindset. This was largely due to my belief that I was a good and valuable person, yet I had no success in getting a date. I figured there was no good reason for girls to not like me, so it must have been a problem external to myself. It had to be because women only like certain types of men or because popular guys take all the girls, rather than an issue with myself. It's painful to acknowledge failures or flaws, so I tried to find external reasons instead. The truth was that my lack of confidence and inexperience with women made me awkward and unlikable. Once I took responsibility for my own issues, I was able to recognize and address them. If someone never shifts their focus from external factors to internal ones, they will struggle to acknowledge and tackle their faults. If you often think things like everyone is out to get you or they don't like you because they are jealous or unkind, you may be failing to recognize that issues exist within yourself. Story 10. Understand that people do not actually like a fawning sycophant. It comes across as creepy, transactional, and manipulative. If I go out of my way to be nice to you multiple times, that cannot be an expectation for sexual favors. This behavior either drives people away or attracts individuals who will use it to manipulate you, often without the kindness. People appreciate being the center of attention because they turn heads. When those around them have their own goals and paths, these paths often circle back to them due to their interesting nature. Being the center of attention because someone wants something from you is not ideal. Once their craving is satisfied, they often lose interest in you as a person. Claiming that I have no interests of my own except for you is truly unsettling, as it leads to constant fluctuations between begging for attention and disinterest. I began to find success when I transitioned from being the nice guy to the fun guy. I go out, have fun for myself, and if others want to join, that is wonderful and we can enjoy ourselves together. I work for my own fulfillment, but if an interesting girl tries to manipulate me and I am accommodating, a significant amount of my resources may be spent on her. However, I still maintain my own interests. There is a strong foundation there because my pursuits are fundamentally for my own benefit, allowing me to continue working, enjoying myself, and moving forward. Story 11. There is a significant difference between wanting someone to be happy and wanting someone to fulfill your desires. Story 12. Realize that people aren't vending machines. Putting in nice doesn't mean you will get whatever you want out. Be genuine in your interactions with others. Story 13. Stop prioritizing others' approval over your own needs. Set boundaries and stand up for yourself, knowing that true respect comes from mutual strength, not constant agreement. Story 14. It's actually simpler than you think. Here's how the nice guy syndrome works. 1. You have an urge, want, or need that you want to act on. You think about how other people would perceive you if you acted on that urge, want, or need. You make your choice based on the second point instead of the first. Getting over nice guy syndrome is simply choosing the first point over the second. It's prioritizing your wants and needs over your image in the eyes of others. Changed my life and it will change yours. Story 15. Honestly, nice guys are just people with emotional regulation issues and an incomplete view of reality. That's why they react so emotionally to things they care about, often influenced by popular culture. They lack real-world experience, which leads to a highly romanticized perception of life. To alleviate nice guy syndrome, genuinely meet people and talk to them without any expectation of return. While this may not eliminate the syndrome entirely, it will help. Story 16. See women as complete individuals, with their own thoughts, aspirations, feelings, ideas, and unique qualities, entirely independent of you or any man. Story 17. Don't be a people pleaser. Show your intentions up front from the beginning. If you want to date her, don't pretend to be just her friend. That will only keep you in the friend zone. Story 18. Recovering nice guy here, here's what I did. Boundaries. You know that hobby you have or that thing you like to do. Make plans with yourself and follow through on them. Most of my nice guy faults were that I would sacrifice things I wanted to help or, more often, enable the people I was desperate to be around. That eventually led to me being a doormat that no one respected. That's not attractive. Being the designated driver for a group you wish you were closer to isn't appealing. You become a tool. Start saying, "No, sorry, I can't," and have a great time, but I have plans. And then follow through on those plans. Have respect for yourself and your time. Stop allowing yourself to be used by people just because you want to be closer to them. Do things that make you happy, and people will want to be with a happy person. If the people you are longing for don't want to do those things, they wouldn't have made you happy in the long run anyway. You'd eventually resent them for not letting you do what is important to you after all the times you bent to their whims. You have no idea how much respect comes with saying no. And even if saying no makes the people you are interested in angry and distant, that says more about them and how they treat you than it says about you not being nice anymore. Set boundaries. Respect yourself, and do what makes you happy. Be a nice guy to yourself. People will want to be around you and find you more attractive. I guarantee it. Story 19. I think you're asking the wrong question. With all due respect, I genuinely say this trying to be helpful. Consider trying to be more interesting rather than just nice. I've had friends describe someone they hung out with as too nice. But when I asked them more about it, it seemed like the real issue was that they were boring. Trying to be nice sometimes turns into agreeing with everything and not showing enough of your own personality. Just my opinion. Story 20. Recovering nice guy. Our primary goal in life is to be liked. Ironically, this makes us miserable when people don't like us in spite of our best efforts. As a result, our relationships end up numerous but shallow. People aren't going to like you for being nice. They will like you because you fill a need in their lives, whether that's emotionally, professionally, or in any other capacity. You can't fill every need all the time. Some people will want you around a lot, others occasionally, and some not at all. Figure out which of your relationships fall into each category. Nice guys are insecure and reek of desperation. Learn to be satisfied with yourself even as you work on improving your weaknesses and bolstering your strengths. Let others determine if and how they want to build a relationship with you. If someone doesn't like you, make peace with that and don't waste time trying to connect with them. Your happiness will arise from pursuing goals and cultivating meaningful relationships, not from pleasing everyone. Start by identifying what you want and come up with a plan to make that happen. Consider seeing a therapist if you think it will help. Story 21. The term nice guy, as a pejorative, is misnamed. Nice guys aren't rejected for being nice. They are rejected for lacking confidence or substance. As someone else said, nice shouldn't be your most distinguishing feature. It is merely the bare minimum. Of course, be nice, but also be interesting. Have convictions and a purpose. In my experience, if the first thing that comes to mind about someone is how nice they are usually not very interesting people. Story 22. I think when your heart is seriously broken by a girl, despite your good intentions, you realize she was emotionless and chose someone else who is not as good as you. Then you stop putting girls on a pedestal and decide to say and do whatever you want and see what happens. Story 23. You should know your priorities first and say no to other things that come your way until it's an emergency. Story 24. By establishing boundaries and a sense of self-worth, and by starting to do genuinely nice things rather than doing them for an expected reward, you can create a healthier environment for yourself. Being nice is the bare minimum. It is not an extra feature. You should be nice to everyone, not just to those you are romantically interested in. Attempting to buy people's affection by doing favors and being nice is not the right approach. Focus on your own life, your own hobbies, wants, and desires. Learn to accept rejection and also how to say no. Impress yourself, not others. You are not here to entertain anyone else. The only person you truly need to impress and compete with is yourself. Nobody appreciates a desperate individual, and trying to impress others will only attract superficial, shallow people. Remember, what you present to the world is what you will attract. Story 25. Other people have expressed it better than I could, but just be yourself. If you are genuinely kind because you value people and want to make the world better, without expecting any rewards for your kindness. That authenticity will shine through. If you are not an authentically kind person and you are acting nice only because you desire something in return, that insincerity will also be evident. Story 26. Seek out rejection and learn to accept and live with it. Hanging around like a lost puppy in hopes of receiving physical affection will not fulfill your needs. It is unappealing and makes you vulnerable to being used. Understand that when someone says maybe, it is essentially the same as saying no. If she says maybe, just pretend she said no. The same applies to phrases like, I'll think about it, or you're so kind. All of these are rejections of your advances and should be treated as such. Anything less than a yes is rejection. More importantly, if you are asking this question because you are following someone you admire, it is time to move on. Sometimes this is as simple as recognizing that this person is a friend and treating them as such. More often than not, though, you need to let go if you can only see them as a potential partner. Story 27. Be a genuinely good person. Not someone who has carefully crafted a nice guy persona over a negative personality to complain about how women won't pay him any attention. Be yourself, do things you enjoy, and treat all people with respect and decency as fellow humans. Story 28. The problem with most nice guys is that they immediately shift into people-pleaser mode when talking to women. They agree with everything she says and try to adapt themselves to fit what they think she considers a good person. So, how can you stop being the nice guy? Be yourself. It's much easier said than done, but when you approach conversations with women like any other interaction and simply have confidence in being yourself, you will eventually learn to stop the nice guy act. Story 29. Get fit. Groom yourself. Smell good. Most important things, do not talk in double meanings. Do not be creepy. There is nothing wrong with being a nice person. We should all strive to be that. It becomes uncomfortable when individuals misuse that notion and their actions, leading to awkward situations. Story 30. Please don't stop being nice. I dated many difficult people, but once I met a kind man and actually gave him a chance, I have never been happier. I have been with him for 9 years now. Just make sure you are being genuine when you are nice. My partner is genuinely kind, but if someone mistreats him, they will find out. Story 31. Step 1 is to realize you're not a nice person. Individuals who identify as nice are often not. No one is genuinely nice. If you believe you are likely allowing others to take advantage of you. Even though in your mind you think what you are doing is good, you may receive attention, but it often comes from the worst kinds of people looking to exploit someone like you. Be kind to good people. You owe nothing to those who treat you poorly, so stop being a doormat for them. You won't win them over. They truly do not care about you and will likely take advantage of you. This is advice from someone who was a nice guy a long time ago. Thank you for listening to my talk. Story 32. The thing is, a lot of toxic male behavior is geared toward one goal. How does this eventually end up with me having sex with her? That goal warps everything, can distort even the nicest attempts, because all niceness is ultimately to have sex with you. I don't even know if it's a conscious effort by some. Maybe it's toxic male entitlement ingrained since childhood. I don't know. Assuming one is heterosexual, and this may also apply to homosexual relationships, ask yourself, if this person was not attractive to me in a basic way, would I be treating this person differently? For example, I am heterosexual, and when I talk to a woman, my first thought is, why are we meeting and talking? Business? Chatting someone up because you're both stuck in an elevator? Would I react the same way if it were a man? If the answer is no, then perhaps I should keep my mouth shut. All my female friends have no genitalia as far as I am concerned. Maybe they'll say, ugh, my endometriosis is killing me today. And I'll think, right, you menstruate. Ugh, I'm so sorry. If a man says, I somehow pinched myself and twisted my anatomy on that bike seat, wow, I'll remember, they are a man, but rarely do these things come up. My male friends, my female friends, all built like dolls. I don't care what they look like naked. I never think about it, and when I do, I'd still rather not. Body sweat to me is unisex. Menstrual cramps are like any other ailment one might get that hurts a lot. But the essence is sexual identification matters to me as much as what hair color they have. Like, who cares? Trans? I just want to make sure I get your pronouns right, out of respect. But chat up someone at a bar. Why? Would I do the same if it were a man? If yes, then proceed maybe. But if I think, she's so cute, then I have problems. Yes, I am happily married, but when I was single, I wasn't looking for sex, just companionship. Someone to talk to. And if it works out, maybe step two. I still made mistakes and assumptions, but they said no, and I was grateful they stayed my friends, but I knew they said no. Women saying no is a complete turn-off for me. It's done. I am still friends with all of them even 10 years later. One of them went through breast reduction surgery, and another once bought a ton of fun sports bras and showed them to me out of excitement. Look, this one has flamingos on it. At no point did I consider this a tease. They are safe with me. As my friends, I do know they are women, and they experience all the issues associated with being women. I won't tell them, oh, I totally know what it's like, because I don't. I do know that I will stand up for them, but not out of some white knight mentality. It's because they are my friends. They are my human friends. Their anatomy is meaningless in our relationship. But I have dealt with men whose goal is to have sex with women in the end. I watch their reasoning warp around logic and reason because friends first, sure, is really, and then we have sex? Or they throw a tantrum. Am I destined to be alone then? Like, do you think you deserve a woman? Like it's owed to you? It's super hard to convince them they won't understand because they are looking for a formula. Like insert enough friendship coins into the female vending machine and get sex in return. Every thought is how to end up being intimate with her. Now, if the woman is into that, consenting adults, fine. But if she's not, leave her alone and do both of you a favor. Story 33. One of the important things is to take a realistic look at yourself and realize that you are not actually a nice person. You might be occasionally agreeable, but you are probably not a good person. That's okay. Most people are not either. Understand that you are the villain in someone else's story, and that your past actions were not the best version of yourself. You could have been better. If you did something good for someone else with the intention of getting something in return, you are not a good person. You are leveraging a transactional relationship in order to gain something from it, which is just social manipulation. Abandon the idea that you are nice, good, kind, or decent, and then work towards actually doing good, pro-social, kind, and decent things. A person is not inherently good or bad. What you choose to do and why you choose to do it defines whether your actions are good or bad. To be a decent person, you must act like a hero, but remember you are also a villain. If you go through life convinced you are the hero, you might end up doing some terrible things. Develop self-awareness regarding your own motivations and actions. You can, in fact, do good things and still be a flawed person. The intention and motivation behind your actions are just as important as the actions themselves when we judge them as good or bad. People do not only pursue those who seem self-assured or confident. The issue is that you may not be self-aware enough to realize that those individuals are often quite decent people, while your own behavior may fall short. You should focus on improving yourself and becoming someone worthy of companionship before seeking a partner. Start with the awareness that you have room for growth, and then work to improve. Do not approach this as a transaction or expect something in return for your self-awareness and self-improvement. Growing up requires no conditions. It is simply a part of maturing. Story 34. The nice guy syndrome isn't about nice guys. It's about individuals who lack confidence. When women call someone a nice guy, it's often just a way to be kind without being harsh. Do not overly admire women to the point of sacrificing your own needs, as this will not lead to fulfillment in return. You need to be confident and secure, acting as if you do not depend on anyone, which will help a woman feel at ease. A typical woman does not want to be idolized like a queen by someone who is submissive. They desire a partner who exudes strength. Show confidence around friends when you are with a woman, and they will take notice. If you are humorous, they may be drawn to you regardless of your appearance. Story 35. I came close to falling into this myself. It took someone telling me, Being nice has nothing to do with it. You lack confidence and self-esteem. Work on those things and you'll find yourself getting more attention, I promise. People don't date unkind individuals because they are unkind. They date them because they are very confident. This person was not wrong. I started to work on myself and received more attention. I ended up going on a few dates too. Now, I'm not perfect and still struggle with low self-esteem, but I'm not that nice guy anymore. The funny thing is people tell me, "You're one of the nicest people I know," and they don't see me as the nice guy. A big thing I learned is the difference between aggression and assertiveness. It's okay to be assertive. Set boundaries, and if people try to cross those boundaries, it's okay to be stern and put your foot down respectfully. This doesn't make you mean. It's communication. Don't hold in your frustrations to be nice. That's not healthy. Communicate. Don't let people walk all over you. Everyone else here covered the idea of don't expect a reward or intimate relationship just for being nice. That should honestly be a given, but some people don't see it that way. I wanted to cover more of the emotional side of nice guy syndrome. Work on yourself. Don't blame the world or women for your dating troubles. Communicate, be confident, and don't be afraid to put your foot down when needed. Trust me, you can be nice and not be a nice guy, and people will appreciate you. Story 36. If you feel the need to say or do things but stop yourself because you're afraid that people won't agree with you or won't like you for your opinion or action, start doing those things more. Your question is how to stop being the nice guy, and this is how. Every day, try to be a more active listener to your own inner self. If it has something to say that you're afraid to express because of how you will be perceived, say it at least once a day, week, month, or at any milestone you choose. How can you be confident if you don't know if anyone actually likes you? Eventually, people will meet the real you, and not everyone will like it. However, those who stick around will not do so because they want a yes man or wish to take advantage of you. They will do so because they appreciate you for you. This is what being yourself actually means, and in the process of discovering who you are, you will also learn who you should and shouldn't be. Story 37. Change your mindset. You are not trying to be a nice person. You are trying to be a good person. Although you may not receive external recognition, it is important to acknowledge this yourself. Take a break from dating and remove all toxic influences from your life. You are flawed. You are human. You will not get it right every time. Story 38. You don't need to be unkind to attract someone. Why would you want to be unkind just to gain the attention of someone who appreciates that behavior? Often, those who identify as nice just need to build their confidence and be a little more outgoing. You shouldn't change your true self. Being authentic is what will help others recognize your value. Story 39. Find things that matter to you and prioritize them. People who are usually described as nice often do not have much going on in their own lives, so they attach themselves to others to appear supportive or interested. Instead, focus on becoming interesting yourself. While it may seem easier said than done, it is possible. You just need to engage in your own interests, whether that means playing games or watching television. Allow people who share your interests to discover you, as you will enjoy your relationships more when they are based on genuine character. Story 40. You don't. At least I didn't. It's not really about whether you are alpha or not. It's about being comfortable in your own skin. Many women just want a nice guy who is goofy and confident in himself. That's the type of person that about half of all women desire. Just be yourself and focus more on building friendships rather than only pursuing relationships with women. The pieces will all fall into place, I promise. It will happen when you least expect it. Story 41. It is best to always strive to be kind. The majority of serious relationships are built on trust, so the next step is to create trust through bonding. You can achieve this by going on several dates and spending as much time as possible with your partner. During this time, a person may or may not develop sexual attraction. A person's kindness does not determine whether they consider you a potential sexual partner. Story 42. Realize that women are people just like you are and not objects. Do not view personal relationships as transactional. Just because you are nice to someone or treat them to a meal does not entitle you to reciprocation. If you get rejected, it's okay to feel angry, hurt, or sad, But it is not acceptable to lash out and call someone horrible names or harass them. Accept the situation and move on with your life. Develop interests that make you a well-rounded person who does not need approval or validation from others to feel complete. Everyone has the potential to be a great person, and you shouldn't feel incomplete because you aren't with someone. The interesting thing is that after you make these changes and start thinking this way, that positive energy becomes attractive to others, making it easier to form solid friendships and attract romantic interests. Confidence in yourself and genuine kindness are very appealing to others. Story 43. Getting rid of the nice guy syndrome involves understanding your behaviors and making necessary changes. First, recognize that the constant need to please everyone and avoid conflict is unhealthy. Reflect on why you feel the need to be excessively nice. Writing down your thoughts can help you identify patterns and triggers for these behaviors. Next, focus on setting boundaries and becoming more assertive. Learn to say no without guilt, and ensure you express your needs and feelings honestly. Building self-esteem is essential, so engage in activities that make you feel good about yourself and surround yourself with people who respect you. Therapy can also be beneficial if you require additional support. Finally, concentrate on being true to yourself. Accept that conflict is part of life and that disagreeing with others is acceptable. Prioritize self-care and engage in activities that bring you joy. By being authentic and valuing your own needs, you will cultivate healthier, more balanced relationships. Story 44. Read No More Mr. Nice Guy by Robert Glover. It was a great book for me to understand some of the toxic traits I had in my previous relationship. In my opinion, to no longer be a nice guy, you can't expect people to reciprocate based on your kindness. Be nice and treat people with kindness without keeping a mental tally of who owes you for being nice. Story 45. Nice guys are anything but nice. They tend to be dishonest, secretive, manipulative, and controlling. You are nice because you expect people to reciprocate your kindness, but you don't communicate that expectation, and people cannot read your mind. Your unmet expectations eventually lead to resentment, which causes you to become passive-aggressive. The solution is to learn how to set boundaries and how to say no. Consider reading No More Mr. Nice Guy, and when I say no, I feel guilty. Story 46. Never stop being nice if you are a nice person. Being kind gets you far in life. It is silly to think otherwise. If you are being nice to get something in return, you are not genuinely being nice. In fact, you might not be a nice person at all. You could just be a manipulative individual who is very poor at it, similar to a con artist who cannot convince anyone of anything. A so-called nice person is often just someone lacking in people's skills. Truly nice individuals are consistently kind, not to gain anything but because they enjoy being nice. They often form romantic relationships, get married, and lead fulfilling lives. Part of their kindness stems from self-acceptance and the enjoyment of their own company. As a result, they do not stress about relationships. They trust that they will find someone who appreciates them when the timing is right. Nice people are admirable and tend to do well in life. In contrast, those who pretend to be nice typically struggle because they lack genuine skills to connect with others. Story 47. You have to swallow some hard truths. 1. Realize that you have been trying to get everything you want: sex, love, validation, money, self-worth through being nice, and that is a terrible tactic. Understand that you want someone else to provide you with these things. When someone does try to give you what you want, you struggle to receive it because your toxic shame tells you that you are not worthy of good things. Remember that only you can give yourself what you are looking for: trust, worth, pride, acceptance, love, and peace will not be fulfilling unless you give them to yourself first. Start asking for what you want. Want sex? Initiate. Do not assume it will just fall into your lap by being nice. Want money? Take action. Do not think life will magically reward you for doing good things. You will not get what you want by only being nice. Stop giving things to get something in return. You may not even realize you are doing this. Ask yourself why you feel angry, hurt, or resentful after doing something for someone who did not return the favor. Did you communicate that you wanted something in return? What motivated you to do it in the first place? Read No More Mr. Nice Guy by Robert Glover. It will change your life for the better. There is nothing wrong with being nice, but you cannot find fulfillment in your life by being nice alone. Learn to meet your own needs. Accept yourself as you are. Embrace your sexuality, and take action to get what you want out of life. Story 48. Why would you want to stop being a nice person? I've been labeled the nice guy my entire life and have still had relationships with plenty of women. I'd rather be the nice guy my whole life than that unpleasant person. Story 49. You have to realize that women and sex are not like a dating game where the reward of sex is obtained by showering a girl with gifts and affection. You need to understand that even if you gave her all the gifts in the world, she is not obligated to sleep with you. Story 50. Be nice. Just don't be entitled and don't have any expectations for getting things from people. If you really just want to get laid, lower your expectations. Stop looking at women on social media and avoid red pill sigma male content. Go to a bookstore and social events and talk to people with the goal of making friends and nothing else. Trying to meet people for the sake of having a relationship only gives off strange energy. Get out of the mindset of thinking, I deserve this or that, and I want a person who is like this or that. Just meet people and learn to accept flaws the same way you accept the flaws of your friends and family. If you're a guy and can learn to talk to a woman like she's a person just like a guy, you're already ahead of many others. Stop treating women as if they are different. Stop awkwardly flirting with them. If you meet someone who is single and you actually like her as a person, ask her out. If she's someone who believes she should be with a man who is 6 feet tall, has an 8-pack, and a 6-figure career and rejects you, good. You've dodged a bullet. Seriously, stop looking at women on social media. They are not representative of real women. It's all misleading. Stop using unsatisfactory dating apps. Use a legitimate dating site meant for relationships if you can't go out into the real world. If this isn't about dating but about not being a pushover, just say no. When people respect your decision to say no, that's who you should offer your help to. When they start acting up, that's how you know you shouldn't be friends with them. Thanks a bunch for sticking around till the end of the video. Remember to subscribe, and until next time, stay awesome and goodbye.